It's Darren and Bonnie and the choreographer fighting and like yelling at each other about how stressed they are. And it's just Julia who's sitting in the back of the room filming, and I'm just standing there just going, this is not good. So there's whole tons of video everywhere of all sorts of stuff. I would love for it to go online, but I just don't know who has it or where it is.
I don't know. I feel like you guys can't give enough to your, like, they're never satisfied, your fans.
There's all sorts of stuff they would love to see.
Potions Masters
Corner ended up being a really good
pretty
thing.
good.
Yeah, ended up being an awesome extra thing and we did that literally the Sunday afternoon before the show, because we recorded the soundtrack the Sunday of the last show, and in between us recording the soundtrack, we went into the Studio 2, in where the show was in Studio 1 and in Studio 2. Joe just had this thing set up and went, I'm just going to ask you a few questions, so that ended up being one of the funniest things. We just sat there laughing too, because we had no idea what he was doing at that either. There's also a video, we have that one video that's up somewhere that Julia posted, I think, of us trying to kiss Lauren.
Yeah.
Stick our tongues out. That's pretty funny.
See, I feel a little weird. I've seen all this shit.
Yeah, it's fine. That's a funny video, and I know Bonnie and all of her, which is videos that people have seen too, of all those collaboration videos she has, like compiling the years. There's a few stuff in last year's video of a Harry Potter musical of us backstage and something. I know there was a bunch of stuff I remember going back and saying, oh, that was from backstage of Harry Potter, but there's another video that someone has of something that is so funny.
That's vague.
I know, right? Couldn't be more vague.
Somebody has something somewhere that I might be in.
Oh, I think it's during one of the shows during one of the shows, if there's any outtake that we could ever post, it's during the scene where Umbridge finds Sirius Black. And the scene where where Umbridge kicks Bonnie in the face. And one show, I think it was during the Sunday show. It may have been the funniest thing that's ever happened. I think it was one of the nights when we filmed. But when Joe goes and kicks Bonnie.
No, it was the show opening, I think.
It was the opening show?
I think it was the first show.
It might have been, either way, it might not have been on film, but if it was on film, I would love for it to be posted online. But when Joe kicks Bonnie in the face, his shoe just came off. And his shoe went up in the air. And literally it had to have just spun in the rafters for about 30 seconds. Because me and Nick definitely sat there on stage and just went, tried to hold in how funny it was. Because that also is one of my favorite jokes of him kicking Bonnie in the face, and I could never keep it together. But when his shoe came off, and Joe just looked at us and was just like, and looking at me and Nick, everyone who saw the show was just like, Sirius and Ron couldn't keep it together. But we were just the ones going, and then about like 20 seconds later, it just went, and landed on the ground, just totally fine. And we continued on with the scene, and it was so funny. It was the best outtake I think that ever happened in all the shows. And I don't know.
You guys are like the Jimmy Fallon and Horatio Sands.
Oh, I like to think not, but definitely for that scene. Oh damn! I would never like to think of myself as the Jimmy Fallon.
He can never.
Maybe
keep it together.
he can never keep it together. And there's got to be like one joke in each show where I couldn't keep it together. And in the first show, it's a joke that got cut out when we took the show offline and then had to put it online again.
Yeah, I might ask you guys some of that stuff off
when
Dumbledore,
the record. Yeah, when Dumbledore said, it was a joke I could never keep together, and luckily they edited the video where it doesn't look like I'm laughing. But when he goes, a Horcrux could be anything, like a medallion or a butthole. And when he said butthole, every time he said it, I just went. And that was the joke in the first show where I could never keep it together. Okay. So, there you go. I'm Jimmy Fallon.
Alright, so Sally or Hermione?
Oh God.
Not Jamie or Bonnie, Sally or Hermione.
Then you gotta ask Joey Richter what he would say, and what Ron would say. Well,
I think Ron would go for Hermione.
Is this in regards to who I would pick, like, as a character? I don't know, if Jamie or Bonnie's listening to this, I don't want him to pick who. I'm gonna go with Hermione, because it's more, I guess, meant to be in regards regards to this story, you know,
Okay.
and it's what everyone's anticipating, and because I'm, you know, I hate gloating, but I'm very proud of the Hermione and Ron kiss scene from the first show.
Well, who wouldn't be proud of
like
that?
it's a fun. It's me and Bonnie and Matt in choreographing and working out that scene had a blast, and we'll still continue to be, and also because everyone goes back and watches the Sally Joey scene and goes, ew, it's Ron and Hermione, it's Ron and Jenny, brother and sister kissing, and we go, it's not, it's a different show. So, but I'll just go with the Hermione and Ron just because that's a kiss scene for us that will live in infamy. That's Bonnie's
That's
boyfriend,
probably like
Walsh.
a kiss that would live in infamy like of all time.
Hopefully.
For some like theater
Maybe.
show.
Well,
If it gets more publicized.
I think back in the when in the video you can hear Bonnie's boyfriend laughing in the back, like ha ha ha. Hopefully uncomfortable.
So a lot of your fans feel like the Team Star Kid version of the Potter stories has altered the way that they read the books and see the movies now. Do
Whoa, cool. I guess.
you feel that way at all? Like, has it altered the way that you think of the stories? Because of the jokes and everything.
I guess kind of. I haven't gone back. The problem is I haven't gone back and reread any of the books
You
since
totally need to.
since we've done the shows. I reread the 6th book I think right before we did the first show, or like the summer before or something. No, I haven't gone back and reread any of the books. It's strange because if anything, I'm not going to be thinking about it like the characterizations we did. I'll just be thinking about it as like our friends. So it's just like every time I read a book and it'll be like, and Harry went over and tried to. I'll just be like, oh, Darren, just Darren doing that, or like just.
No, well, I watched like the second movie or something. No, the first movie, and Tom Felton says, "Wait till my father hears about," and I lost it.
Well, that's when that was the one thing we went and saw when we all saw the 6th movie last summer. I think there was a line in the 6th movie where Draco goes, "This place has really gone to the dogs," and we all went, "They did it," and that was a pretty funny thing.
It happens a lot though. Like a lot of them talk about it.
Yeah,
I'm like,
someone recently just made a compilation video of they took No Way, the soundtrack, No Way version, and they edited it with a bunch of clips from all 7 movies, I guess, from the trailer from the 7th movie, and like I guess behind the scenes footage of like, and it was just of Harry, and then they had some of Draco and Ron and Hermione. And I remember watching, that was when I watched it, Darren sent it out to all the cast, and I watched that and I went, that's pretty cool. And I went, this would be pretty cool if this is the soundtrack to the movie. And it made me feel like, yeah, I could watch the movie with this soundtrack. So I've been the one occasion where I went, oh, that's funny, and that's a nice relationship I can make with our show.
So before all of this, who was your favorite character in Harry Potter? Serious Black.
Mine would have to be, I don't know. I really liked Voldemort. And simply because
I like Bellatrix too.
simply because
Mad Eye
when you
Moody.
read the Mad Eye Moody's a great character, but Voldemort simply because it's so cool. The 6th book's my favorite book, and I love in the 6th book reading about like his past, and I think it's so interesting, you know, to humanize, which they don't really do because it's supposed to be a force of evil, you know,
Right.
but to humanize an entity of a character, you know. And I think that's what was so cool about Voldemort is like learning about his past and whenever they tried to. So yeah, I guess Voldemort's the most interesting because you didn't know anything about him up until, you know,
Right.
book 4 when you finally saw him, and then after that it was like, oh, let's learn more about him. So yeah, I guess he would be my favorite because I would always love and go back and I guess when I read the book for the first time, like reread the chapters with that were all like Voldemort centered, like in the beginning of the 7th book when they're all sitting there around the table in the Malfoy Manor, and I love that chapter. And you go back and read it because like, oh cool, what's Voldemort like when he's just like hanging out with people? And that's so yeah, I guess he would be my favorite character.